Sending this one out to all that just recently participated in the degrading federal process called 4 o'clock stand-up count. 4 o'clock stand-up count across the nation in federal prisons where no matter what, when a CO comes around, you are to stand up and be head counted like cattle. No matter if they are looking directly at you, the count is not official if you do not stand up. Now, I know some, when you start talking about prison, like, hey, prison ain't meant to be nice. But truth be told, prison is one of the most corrupt entities that exist here in this country, especially on the federal level. Shout out to BOP, Bureau of Prisons, the governing body of the federal prisons across this nation. Recently, we had the death, the suicide or murder of Jeffrey Epstein, the wealthy Caucasian pedophile, the wealthy Caucasian ringleader of pedophiles, the wealthy Caucasian ringleader of pedophiles who has named names before his demise. See, some of us knew he didn't have a chance in hell to begin with. He was got one way or the other. But that's not my point for this address. As I see the Attorney General outline in detail the violations that happen in federal prisons, as I witness national news speak about the overworked staff and the oftentimes tragedies that are allowed in these federal prisons, as I witness all of this rhetoric, I can't help but think of families, of mothers like Miss Tilson. What's up, Miss Tilson? Mother of Shiley Tilson, a young black male that was put in a similar cell under similar circumstances of needing to be watched every 30 minutes, checked on every 30 minutes. By no means do I want to equate Shiley to Jeffrey Epstein, by no means, but was hauled out in a body bag. Markings on his body fall in the category of being beat. Markings on his organs fall in the category of suffering from severe dehydration. See, Miss Tilson, all of this talk about this wealthy Caucasian ringleader of pedophiles and the slippage in job duties and responsibilities of COs should do nothing but strengthen the case for your son. Truth be told, your son is just one of many that die behind the walls. Black, brown, those considered of low income status are thrown inside of these dark places and forgotten about. I'm not telling you what I read or what I heard. I'm telling you what I know from unfortunately experiencing some of this firsthand. It's been almost 20 years now since I've been out of prison, unjustly incarcerated. 13 of those 30 months in solitary confinement. Deemed by the United Nations cruel and inhumane punishment. So for the record, we're so happy the Attorney General is now outlining some of these atrocities that take place by government employees or employees of the Bureau of Prisons. But what we're going to do about it, that's the key. I digress. Before I do that, Never heard back from 19 years ago about the complaint that I submitted on behalf of abuse by COs in Bartow County Jail, a jail that also houses federal inmates. See, 4 white racist-ass male officers didn't like my tone when I was being disrespected by a white Caucasian female CO, not officer. When I asked her who did she think she was talking to, I got jumped on from behind, I got drugged, I got maced, I got thrown in what they call a dry cell. Back then I used to have a little more hair on my head. Had mace dripping all down my head, all dry cell meaning no water to be accessed. Left me in there for about 3 hours. Experiences like that might alter your thought process on these facilities. So again, I had Miss Tilson on my mind. I had Shali on my mind as I keep hearing about this Jeffrey Epstein. Wanted to address that. Last but not least, you know what's amazing to me as it relates to this Jay-Z issue? And this will be the last time I speak on this because I am waiting on the data once things get rolling to then make my final decision. But what amazes me is here goes a man that now is being talked about by us worse than some of the white folk. Here goes a brother. And some of you just don't like the brother to begin with, so you're biased from Jump Street. Some of you didn't support the boycott to begin with, so you're biased from Jump Street. But here goes a man that has literally built water systems in various parts of Africa of those who are suffering from thirst. Here goes a man that has broken through the clothing industry, the hip-hop industry, sports agency industry, various entrepreneurial projects. Here goes a brother that Rock Nation in these past several years has deployed legal soldiers and gotten many of these outlandish charges of individuals all across this nation tossed out. But now all of a sudden he's a sellout, he's a coon, he's a Sambo. And many of y'all who are saying it, not everybody, but many of you guys who are saying it ain't even putting in a pinky nail worth of work compared to what this dude has done. So I feel something special because when you come out of a 30-month sentence, 13 solitary confinement, and when you touch home, you dive forehead deep into this work. And there's not damn near a soul out here of even national status that I don't have a relationship with. But it's because of the work that I've been putting in. That means something to me. All this little hard-ass keyboard typing, all this tough talk. Busters. Anybody that wants to align forces to combat mass incarceration, prison industrial complex, school to prison pipeline, police terrorism, police brutality, police misconduct, if we can find a common denominator in those areas, let's roll.